All right, y'all, we back in here, and wow, um, pretty hectic game. Well, pretty hectic pre-game and first 15 to 20 minutes, maybe even 30 minutes before it settled in. But um, West Ham won, Chelsea 5, and we're gonna get into it today. I wanted to start with looking at the lineups and what I saw. If any of you have watched the previous video that I posted where we reviewed that Crystal Palace match and then previewed this game, I mentioned that I wanted, largely this was the lineup that I wanted to see. Liam Delap as the 9 with João Pedro in behind. Obviously, the Malo Gusto at right back was a little bit of a surprise to me, but it made sense once we got into the match. And then Esteval getting a start for Cole Palmer, who I believe is a groin injury. I thought I heard him, or saw him rather, mouth that to whoever he was sitting next to on the bench. And hopefully it's nothing serious, but if he has to miss a week, I think it's probably beneficial for him at this point to try to get some more rest and come back 100%. I know Enzo Maresca said that last week he wasn't 100%, but he wanted to play and give his all for the team. And while I admire that, we kind of need him for the whole season. So if he has to miss a week, I'm not going to be upset. Obviously, I don't think anybody should. But when we got into the match, we saw how they wanted to play Chelsea. Cucurella being that third center back on the left, and Chalobah actually being the one on the right-hand side, and Tosin, who was a welcome re-addition into the lineup after missing last week, being that central center back. It allowed Malo Gusto to be the one to step into, in this match, he was holding the width on the right-hand side, and I'm very happy he wasn't the one inverting into midfield. I don't think that's his best role, obviously. He's not the most comfortable doing so the way Reece James would be or Cucurella would be. And it helped Esteval not get doubled up out wide. It allowed him to free himself a little bit to try to find space in order to help the team progress. But, getting into like some of the main events of the game, in the first 10 minutes, Esteval, in his first start, he was the one who gave the ball away, trying to be a little cheeky, getting the ball to João Pedro with trying to flick it behind him and build up, and it led to like a wonder goal from Paqueta. Came out of nowhere. I had stepped away from watching the game to go grab some water and come back, and the game is 1-0, and watching it back, I mean, it was a very good strike. It deserved the goal, but it has to be mentioned that Rob Sanchez, that bozo gene that I don't think will ever 100% go away, surfaced again. I thought he should have done better. Not a professional keeper, obviously, but on the strike, he steps away, and it kind of wrong foots him, and then he reaches over and misses the ball. I think it deserved a goal, but Rob Sanchez is not completely his fault. It's not like just a giveaway or anything like that, but I thought he could have done a little better. But after that goal, it really wasn't much coming from West Ham. I think they had one other chance, major chance, when it was 1-1, and it was that offside from Todibo, who, when he cut it back for Fulkrug to get the would-be equalizer again to 2-2. But they didn't really create much other than that from what I can remember. Maybe I think there was like a Kyle Walker-Peters second half chance. Other than that, I'm not sure. West Ham look kind of dire. Diouf, though, I think is a good pickup at left wing back. But that's besides the point. Getting into the Chelsea goals, that equalizer from João Pedro to make it 1-1. It's the same corner routine we saw last week against Palace, where Cucurella comes short, like he's going to receive a pass short, and they're going to play a short corner, and then he kind of jogs into the near post with in this case, Paqueta behind him, and he just turns and kind of pins him. And I think it was Pedro Neto. It was a left-footed corner. Pedro Neto plays it onto the head of Cucurella, who flicks it back. And I want to give a special shout out to, even though he didn't get a goal, Liam Delap, who blocked off the keeper a little bit and allowed João Pedro to lose his marker, Wan-Bissaka, to get that header for that 1-1 equalizer. Moving forward, quickly about that corner, Wan-Bissaka loses his marker. There's a lot of his mistakes. I think it's probably his worst game in a West Ham shirt. If I had to guess, he was horrid in this game, and it proved to be that way in the second goal, Pedro Neto's goal. It was a good press from Chalobah, kind of an incidental contact sort of thing. João Pedro picks it up and crosses it back stick, kind of like a chip ball. And Wan-Bissaka doesn't even check the back post. He's just ball watching. And Pedro Neto, I mean, what can we say about his work rate? It's probably the best asset he has to his game, along with his speed. And he just sneaks beyond Wan-Bissaka and puts it away for 2-1. And from there, I mean, it was almost smooth sailing, other than that one chance that I mentioned where we thought that Fulkrug equalized, and that kind of would have been, it would have been a little deflating, I think, for Chelsea if it had happened. But luckily it was offside and they moved forward. I mean, going into the third goal, I want to speak about Estevao a little bit. I mean, even though he gave the ball away for that first goal, I thought even last week against Palace and again today, just a continuance of showing that he's ready right now. I mean, he's so talented and so good. I wish we could have. I wish we could see him play more with Cole Palmer, and obviously, I'm imagining that will happen as the season moves forward. But today, he kind of took that Cole Palmer role and kind of ran with it. I mean, in this goal, created largely by him and Liam Delap. Another mention, even though he didn't get a goal, I thought played really well. Chalobah plays the ball out to the right to Estevao, who plays it out wide to Gusto, who was very important in holding that width right-hand side. He plays a first-time ball with his left foot into Liam Delap, who does a great job holding the ball up for Estevao to make that third man run to run into, who gets down the line and crosses it back for an Enzo Fernandez goal. I do want to mention that we did dominate possession in the same way that we did versus West Ham. The difference Crystal Palace. The difference being today that West Ham sat a lot deeper and allowed us to pin their wing backs really far back so that they didn't have an outlet. You know, the one thing Crystal Palace did a really good job of, I thought, last week was that when the ball approached the halfway line, when we were in possession, they would trigger their press and force us back onto Rob Sanchez a lot, who then would have to build out again or go long. And that just wasn't the case in this match. Graham Potter set his team up to sit really deep. And we had our center backs beyond the halfway line, comfortable in possession, allowed to just kind of stroll their way through the game. And, you know, speaking of Enzo Fernandez, what I thought was a lot better today, obviously, with that second goal. He should have had a second. That build-up for that in around 50th minute where he should have had his second goal. Rob Sanchez plays a good ball into, I don't remember who it was, but it ends up being a two-man game between Enzo Fernandez and Pedro Neto, who was very good as well. Have to mention that again. And he lays it off to Enzo Fernandez in the box, and he kind of skies it. And, you know, he really should have done better. I thought in this game, even though it was 5-1, it could have been like 8, to be honest. It could have been really, really bad. I thought West Ham got a little lucky that it wasn't. And that it's still early in the season where this team is trying to find their feet because West Ham just weren't at it. Moving forward to, you know, the 57th minute, where I believe, no, I think it was the fourth goal. No, sorry, it was the fourth goal, where we get a corner and Hermansen, who by all accounts didn't have a good game versus Sunderland, was terrible again today. Corner into him, he kind of just flaps at the ball and it falls to Caicedo, who then puts it away. Same thing for the fifth goal. Again, Messi from West Ham and Hermansen not getting the ball away. And Chalobah falls on it. João Pedro gets his second assist of the game. And from then on, it was an easy second half. I do want to mention quickly though that the defense, while only conceding one goal to like a really good striker Paquetá, I do think there's like little moments of, I don't want to say like fragility, but like a little shakiness. I'm gonna be optimistic and attribute that to just it being a complete rout in the second half and the team being a little lazy. But I still think that's probably our biggest question mark when watching this team, whether the defense can hold up for the whole season. So far, so good. There's no real complaints. But yeah, the only real one other thing that I wanted to mention is when Reece James came into the game and West Ham finally started pressing high after the game was over, pretty much. Rob Sanchez, I think, played a ball into Enzo Fernandez, who first time plays it into space for Reece James, who makes an incredible pass for Esteval, who probably, it should have resulted in a goal. He, I think, waited too long to shoot. But I just want to say that it's good to have somebody like Reece James back. I know we're probably never going to get the guy who bombs up and down as a fullback, getting crosses from the byline, but I think the new role that the manager has him in, playing as that third center back or inverting into midfield, shows how versatile he is and the quality that he has as a player. He's, in my opinion, world class, and hopefully he can stay healthy. We also saw Fofana coming back. It's good to see him getting some minutes. But yeah, I mean, overall, can't really complain about that performance. It was an incredible bounce back. You could tell these guys were up for it, to try to secure their first win of the season. And I believe we have Fulham next Saturday. And I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing them continue on from this performance. But yeah, if you come across this, leave a like. Again, I think I'm probably going to make a new channel for Chelsea specific videos. I'll probably link that either in the description or commented or whatever it is. But yeah, thank y'all for watching. I will see y'all later.